Oh, you're God?
You have to see this.
Bring it over here. Bring it her. Where's the middle please? Just explain. Explain.
A fox that looks like a bat and is 5.5 feet tall.
It's probably fake.
It lives in the Philippines. Feast your eyes.
That's real?
I guess.
That's some dude's like pet?
I don't know.
That's
It's a
cool.
human size.
Yeah. That's pretty good. I like it.
Show the people.
It's not gonna come immediately. There's some lag. It's probably like a minute delayed.
That's too long.
Oops. Anyway, it will come on there.
That's what she said.
Jeez. Yes, indeed.
Yeah, it did.
Yep.
Can't nobody see that.
Can't nobody see that.
You have 3 if it's lying to you.
If it's lying?
If it's lying to you, you have 3.
Thanks. Yeah, it's lying. It's saying 1. It's like it tricked him last time. I'm sure. Pretty sure I can do the same thing this time. Sharpie. Permanent.
Kind of looks like a dick from here.
What I'm drawing?
The top part, the green part, from that angle.
Maybe it is. What you gonna do about it?
4.
Yee. What's up, people? Is everybody staying sane?
Huh? Oh. My bad.
That's okay. You want me to talk to you too?
No, it's alright. I'm good. I'm alright. I just thought you were talking to me.
That's a pretty short attention span, Andrea.
What do you mean? You can't talk about that.
I mean, like you forgot that I was doing this literally like 3 seconds after. It's okay. I forgive you. We're gonna bloom out from purple blue, dark colors right around the edges into the goldens, the oranges, yellows. We on bloom. Little bit of bloomin'. Excuse me, sir. Excuse me. You're not allowed to put colors that close to the other colors. They must be 6 inches apart per color. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Are you wearing your face mask while you draw that picture? I don't see one. I do not see the face mask. Sir? Sir? Hello? I don't see a face mask, sir. See, now in this particular situation, I don't have a bed to soil with my dropped little Crayola set here. So, oh, and I did get that out, by the way, if anyone remembers me working on this like a month ago. I put a nice big pink dot on our white duvet, and then I went and got rubbing alcohol. I sat there, and I was gonna say I would rub the shit out of that thing for an hour, but I didn't rub the shit out of it because you have to basically press it. You have to dab it. Dab, dab. Dab, dab, dab. Dabbity dab, dabbity dab. So all the rest of the colors, I believe, from here on out, are gonna be blue, purple, and different shades of blue, purple for the surrounding of their bodies. So the inside surroundings, and then that will bloom out into orange gold around the edges. That is the plan. Yeah, so 2 guests were supposed to be showing up yesterday, and one of them flaked, just a straight up flake, and the other one had she wasn't feeling good enough. So I went from having a bunch of shows to having no shows. But I did have no shows. Do you get it? Do you get that one? I don't like it when people flake on me. This is not one of the things that I am a fan of. It's actually unusual. Usually if people commit to a show, then they do it. And the funny thing was, both of these people volunteered themselves to come on the show. They asked if they could come on. One of them had a valid excuse. The other one did not. Shut the entire city down. Shut the entire city down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Shut it down. Do I have any other blues? Do I have a black? I might be able to put some blacks in here. Maybe not. Maybe not. I have another blue. This is a pen blue. So how's everybody doing? Is anyone alive out there? Is anybody that is watching this video alive? I ask that question to the people I play chess with all the time. They don't usually respond. Start arguing with me about semantics and what does it really mean to be alive anyway. Actually, they did not do that. I would prefer that they did that, but they did not. They just stay silent. Silent. You coming up here, kitty cat? Steven is going to be joining us on Sunday, unless of course he flakes. Steven basically said sorry for being a douchebag because he flaked on me also the other day. So I let him back to friend status. Which idea do you like? Maybe I could do a little bit of blacks here. Maybe, no. No. Greens, no. Nope, it's just gotta be blues and purples until we get to the outside, and then we'll get some oranges going on. Blues, purples, and oranges. Do any of you know Zaid Stone? Via Facebook? She was very upset doing a live and she was waving a gun around in her bedroom talking about how whoever was bothering her better not be doing that. It wasn't cops or anything, it was a person. Probably some ex drama, but it's pretty surprising. Pretty surprising. Oh yeah, the technique. This was actually Andrea's idea.
What?
This drawing technique.
It's not mine.
Well, that's how I got it. You essentially
I
just
used to do that as a kid, but
did you come up with it?
I don't know.
You might as well take credit. You essentially just make a bunch of scribbles, and once you've got the page covered in scribbles, then you just kind of draw wherever you feel like, and eventually, because your mind always tries to make something that's sort of intelligent or has some recognizable form. So it's like finding order in chaos a little bit via colors. It's pretty fun. so far. Did that guy, what's his name, David Martin?
Yeah.
Did he say that the perps of this nonsense actually admitted that it was just a social experiment?
No.
No?
No.
So how is he gonna get? Hypothetically speaking, how are they gonna acknowledge it? They'll just say it wasn't a social experiment.
Because the way that the law is written, in order for them to have controlled, or to have, what do they call it? The testing.
Mm-hmm.
There has to be somebody outside, an independent researcher that's not got anything at stake in the project, and they don't have anybody like that. Everybody's in on. So because of that, it deems it an experiment because it's not able to be an actual test, a provable test.
As opposed
Something
to
like that.
as opposed to a pandemic? Like, is that the nomenclature we're speaking about here? What's he saying is their definition of what they're doing?
Well, they're just following whatever narrative they have going on that changes by the minute. But he's saying that it's, it's obvious that it's an experiment that we're not consented to.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, by their own words, it is an experiment anyways, because they're doing testing to see, like, oh, does the virus, quote-unquote, respond this way? Like, that Burks lady's always coming on saying, well, what we know now, based on blah, 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 is this other thing.
They're tracking their pet.
Yeah. So it is, by their own admission, an experiment. It's just on a worldwide scale with people that
An experiment that involves
asked if they wanted to participate.
Yeah, an experiment that involves everyone shutting their means of livelihood down.
Mm-hmm.
Seems like lots of sewage needs to come both ways.
Spewing.
Spew that sewage. I've never sued anybody before, but I figure it would probably be fun. I told Eddie about my UFO joke. Stop. About how there's no such thing as a UFO.
Why not? I don't remember the joke. I'm sorry.
Because as soon as you identify it as a UFO, it's identified.
Oh, right.
I told him about that. He thought it was pretty good.
You are now identified as an unidentified flying object.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Hey, Mike, what's up? Yeah, it's really relaxing because, I don't know, I'm not trying to make it be anything. I was in the beginning, and it has a little bit of form, but it's kind of just turning into flying colors.
know what's going on with this true king person.
Yeah, have you guys heard of the true king?
I just saw another thing pop up about it.
Is he saying he's like Jesus? Because he was talking about the Antichrist.
No. He's saying he is the true king of the Commonwealth of Australia.
Oh, it's Australia? It's not even London?
I thought it was Britain before, but now this thing says Australia.
Strange. Anybody know about that?
It's Joseph Gregory Hallett.
Joseph Gregory Hallett. All my fucking pens are flying all over the place because this thing is... There we go. This thing is slanted. Slanted.
Where's the guitar? Oh, there it is.
You can practice.
Mm-hmm. I can close the door if you want.
No, I want to hear it.
I don't want anybody to hear it yet.
Everybody's gonna listen to you practice.
It's terrible.
No. You gotta stay in here.
No, I just stay in here.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
Do not.
Well, don't close the door. I like listening to you practice.
Okay.
I'll just tell them to close their ears.
Where's that pick?
I don't know. To me, that one is long gone.
Here it is.
Oh, is it just in the bag with the extra strings?
Yeah. That is terrible. We gotta fix you up better.
What's wrong with me?
The beginner guitar came with. This is like a kindergarten.
Yeah, I'm
We'll
sure.
get some good ones.
I'm sure we could find a guitar string somewhere, or picks.
They're everywhere. I can make one.
Just grow your fingernails real long and chop it.
No, it's nasty.
You can have a fingernail amalgamation.
Keep the nails on the other hand short so that I can match the strings.
Well, you gotta do what you gotta do. And you'll have a good like icebreaker because everyone will think you're snorting cocaine.
Yep. Got that pinky
Uh-huh.
nail.
No master above. No slave below. Yeah. Yep. She's learning Heart of Gold. That's one of her dad's favorite songs to play. Say hello, kitty cat.
Oh shit. Almost broke it.
Really?
I think so.
I doubt it.
Tighten them too much, it'll break.
So, I have a question for you guys. Did you get a notification that I went live, or were you just browsing the channels and happened to see it? Because I want to know if like everyone has the settings turned off. I think YouTube just goes and shuts them off for everyone. And unless you're talking about Justin Bieber or something, which I'm not. So unless you're talking about Justin Bieber, YouTube goes in and unclicks the bell for everybody. And they probably click your bell for Justin Bieber. Something like that. So my question is, did you guys get the notification for this live, or how did you get here? Looks like the clouds. That's cool. That is my question. Meow. You got notified? Okay. I would advise, if anybody cares to be notified when I go live, I would advise to go and check your little bell and just see if it's set to notify you. Because I have had multiple people tell me, "Oh, I missed it. I wish I would have gotten the notification." Like when I do the Sunday shows. Thanks for letting me know, Lightning. Appreciated. The cat just goes around and knocks everything off of shelves. That's her job here. That is the job of the kitty cat. So I guess it's gonna go into darker oranges around the edges and then lighter after I get the blues up around here. Blues and purples. I found it by chance. Have you been, are you a recent subscriber, Chase? I don't recognize your name. Actually, I don't recognize you or Lightning, but welcome to both of you.
Remember what G is.
G.
Where's my phone?
I don't remember.
Remember the order of the chords?
mnemonic device?
What?
Do you remember the thing you made up for it?
Oh, I was trying to make a new one the other day, so I probably fucked my brain up.
Nice.
It's EA.
Every
asshole
yeah gives.
does. No.
It was EAG, I think.
Really?
I think so.
I can't remember.
Yeah.
I am. Okay. G is 2, 3, and then. Okay. I didn't actually forget it.
Was it the third one? Was it 3?
Hold on. It's. No, I was right. EADGBE. Every asshole.
Digs.
No, I made a different one. Eventually. All.
Oh, you've only been sub for a few weeks. Cool. So, how would you describe yourself in the broadest sense possible? As go the awareness community pigeonholes.
Eventually, all dogs. I was trying to think of a nicer one. Go beg everywhere. That's pretty good.
Eventually, all dogs go beg everywhere.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
It's a little easier to remember. Eventually, all dogs go beg everywhere. Isn't that right, ZZ?
Yeah, what's that? YouTube shouldn't be a... If you want to unclick your bell, you should unclick your own damn bell. YouTube should not be doing that for people. This is how I feel about the matter. Google's GUI is named Adreno, and the browser is named Chrome. Did you guys know that? Ah, okay. Somebody was wanting me to make a reply video to something that he said the other day, but they never followed up on whatever exactly they wanted me to comment on. What's he been saying lately? What's the Matt flavor lately? I haven't listened to a video for a while of his. start going orange now? I think it might be the time. So, I think this is the darkest one. We'll have then that orange, then pink on the outside. Something like that. Hey, William. Live for yourself, yeah. Yeah. You gotta make your own life. Gotta make your own life. 'Cause it's your own fault. You went ahead and did it, it's your own fault. Can't blame no one but yourself. 'Cause it's your own fault. She said her dad told her, your fingers gotta bleed, otherwise you're not doing it right. I hope you know who's doing that. I'm drawing. Andrew is playing guitar.
I'm close to being near the first verse.
Yeah?
But I can't play it fast enough yet.
That's it? That we just hummed?
Let's do it. It's hard and cold. Leo Young.
You want to help me with this?
Nope.
That was fast.
This is your project.
Yeah,
Yeah. It looks good though.
thanks.
Let your passion lead you to the end. Or if you want to say, fuck it, I'm done, then you do that.
Okay. Can I do that with the realm too?
You can try.
I have tried many
Me
times.
too. So far, it doesn't work.
It doesn't. That particular thing doesn't seem to yield fruit too easily. Don't know why. Maybe it's because it wants us here.
That's for sure.
You are tasty. I need you to stay. But I need to be able to abuse you too, okay?
And you just smile and take it.
You
bitch.
smile, take it up the behind. Don't you say a word. Don't
Except,
you say.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Yes. Thank you, sir. Can I have another? Wish you were here. Where's here? She is indeed playing the $40 guitar that I bought from Amazon.
And you can tell it's $40 too.
Hey, no strings have broken yet.
Well, it's good when you break strings if you break them for the right reason.
That cheap ass guitar came with extra strings. I'm actually pretty happy about the situation. It came with a case, a strap, a pick, extra strings. What is that thing called? That sticker? The guard?
Yeah, it's the pick guard.
Pick guard. I mean, for $40 and free shipping and handling? I mean, I can get down with that side of capitalism. Or pretend capitalism. Whatever it is that the Nazisms brought us to, eventually. The Fnords, right? Are you guys familiar with Fnords? I think we've had this discussion before. Who's familiar with Fnords? Oh.
What?
So you weren't getting mushy gushy and creepy? Somebody said, wish you were here. I selfishly misinterpreted that as they wish they were here with us.
Oh, they do.
Oh, I know they do. But it was just a song. We got the birds. Got the fresh air. Got the guitar. Got the coloring. Fnorbs. You almost spelled it right. It's Fnord. F-N-O-R-D. Do you know about Fnords, Andrea?
Who?
Fnords?
That sounds like something you say.
It is.
I forgot.
I didn't invent it though. I want to see if they know, or if they can look it up. You're developmentally disadvantaged if you don't already know what Fnords are. You're at a disadvantage to the rest of the population. No, I would definitely recommend it. I could even put the link for it in the comments if you want. Or if you just search up beginner guitar, beginner acoustic guitar, learner guitar, something like that. On Amazon, you should find it. Yeah, Fnords. It's Kurt Vonnegut. The Fnords are, so in the story, the main character would be reading the newspaper, and somebody, like one of his friends, told him, you know, he's like, remember the Fnords, or don't forget about the Fnords. And at first he was like, what are you talking about? He thought the guy was just yanking his chain. And then he eventually got too curious about it, and he went and looked in his newspaper for these Fnords. And he eventually saw one, like, he looked forever, and he eventually saw one Fnord in there. And once he saw one, he started noticing them pop up more and more in the newspaper. And he was asking his friend, he's like, what's it about? Like, what are they, why are they there? I don't get it. And I don't think he ever got a clear, definitive answer. But they were just there in place of other words. So it's like the Fnord was like a variable. But your mind will blank it out if you're not consciously looking for it. So he had been seeing them all the time in the newspaper, but until his friend called his attention to it, he didn't notice it. I don't know if I'm telling it exactly right, but that's the gist of it. If you read enough Kurt Vonnegut books, you'll stumble across the Fnords. Or you might start finding them in your own newspaper, I don't know. Probably the guys from Tralfamadore had something to do with it. Yeah. This gives me warmth when watching as a homeless human. You're a homeless human, Vanessa? Are you in Oregon?
Nope.
You can do it.
You had it the other day in the car, right?
Yeah. Do you have shelter at least, Vanessa? Where are you located? Right. Right, you are, matey. Right indeed. This is correct. Hey, Maya. Welcome. Did you get all the Morgellons out? Today's a good day. Today is some type of day. Is there some special reason today is good, or you're just being happy and optimistic? You know, I found out the other day. Hey, Steve. I don't know, what do you think? It started off as a something, and now it's not as much of a something as it was, but it's still some type of something. Oh. Vanessa, can you share a little bit more? Can you share the circumstances? What led to you being homeless? Where are you located? Are you near anybody that could help out? Ah, you're living in your car. Okay. That's completely reasonable. We lived in the car for a while. And then not by choice after we came to Oregon. Well, it was by choice, but it was a rock and a hard place type situation. But we had to bust our tail to get to the situation that we're in now. You got a hug from Maya.
Aw, hug back. Big love.
Mm-hmm.
Did you check? Oh.
Should be on here too.
Hi, Maya.
Someone's living out of their car, like we were.
Nice. It's better to do it in the summer than the winter.
Yeah.
But it's not easy regardless.
Nope. across the way. Is that U.S.?
Oh my god. It's East Coast.
Is it near Maine?
I'm not sure about those northern states very well. I do know it's on the East Coast.
There are many.
And I do know that it's in the U.S.
There are many things in the U.S. that are also named the same in some other country. I'm sure there's a Maryland in another country as well. Don't make fun of me.
See, I'm not. I am.
Mm-hmm.
You make it easy. Sometimes.
You're right. Holy crap, it's hot in here. Holy caca realm, it's hot.
You're hot?
Yes.
Because you're streaming. Because you got eyeballs on you.
You like it?
I do. It's like the pink sphere that's supposed to be enveloping the earth as is, bringing the new energies. People have been talking about the pink coming for a long time.
One in the pink, one in the stink?
Aurora painted it, and Lisa talks about it. She saw it in a vision, I think, or a dream.
Oh, what's her face also, right?
Who?
Lisa?
That's what I just said.
Ah.
He's so cute.
Welcome to Gary's brain.
You're focused right now.
Steven says he's coming on next. Look at this.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
that's
have a
good.
colorful table.
Yeah, that's good.
He says he invited himself onto the collective meet next week.
Which Steven? Lawson?
Lawson.
We'll see about that.
He does what he wants.
Better show up, boy.
Alright? Too many flakes around here. Too many flakes, not enough corn.
But if you got frosted cornflakes, you're alright.
Yeah. Otherwise it's boring.
Frosted flakes.
Nope. Yump yump. It's so like satisfying to do this because I don't have to think anything. I just have to stay inside the line.
You don't have to do that either.
Well, that's the form that I agree to for this particular project. I don't always want to break the rules, just most of the time. Do you like breaking your own rules better or breaking other people's rules?
Mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when the other people's, or the government, they're not even usually specified very clearly.
I'm gonna have gnarly fingers at the back.
I'm
of
from
your
Hagerstown. Hagerstown. Oh, Steve Johnson. Well, then there you go. Steve Johnson and Vanessa G go help each other out.
He said he moved though.
Oh. Car systems led me to know. Oh, you're in Pennsylvania, not Maryland. I see. Yeah, it's definitely cathartic. Actually, just talking on the channel is cathartic if you're not censoring or having an agenda.
There's ASMR channels that are just for like the sound of coloring.
Mm-hmm.
Sleep tight, Vanessa.
She's taking off.
Mm-hmm.
Good night, Vanessa. And you're not homeless, you're houseless. Houseless. I wonder. Nah. We shall leave it be. Don't tinker too much. If I start tinkering too much, then if I start getting up in it too much, then it goes south. Neil Ferguson, who came up with models for the lockdown supposedly in the UK, resigned after he didn't obey them himself. I mean, they're all breaking their own stupid things, aren't they? I still just think we're on an interdimensional TV show. And they're changing out the set right now. That's all that's happening. I guess I can add one more. Maybe not. Maybe not. But I have another. Oh, this is purple. I should have used that in the other ones. Oh well. Oh well. Oh well. I still didn't get a bike. What the heck? What's going on?
Get some land.
Just some land? Will I find the bike there? Just sitting on the land?
Probably. Somebody else just posted that that thing where they were taking the people out of their houses, but it
Yeah.
was like the hunger strike. Remember?
Yeah.
That got me all shook.
Oh, that thing's still going around
It's
as
still going around, so I let him know.
as COVID stuff?
Yeah, I was
Okay.
like, this is old, and not that they should have been forcibly taken, but it's not from the Rona.
Not the Rona.
He said thanks.
Yep.
Because that thing got me all heated up.
Mm-hmm.
I was scared.
I still think like it could have some good effect,
I'm not saying it couldn't happen.
but we don't want to be intentional purveyors of
Fear.
misdirection.
Yeah.
We already have enough people who signed up for that role. I think we had too many entities sign up for that role in this realm. It's like, you know,
It's an
on the
easy
football
gig.
team, every single person wants to be the quarterback. That's what happened here. Like, everyone's like, I want to be the one that's fucking everyone over. No, I want to. They just got overrepresented in that department.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Yes. Contemplative.
I'm gonna take Jackie for a little walk, I think.
Okay.
You wanna go take a shit?
Yeah.
They're facing the wall. Yeah. No, they're watching TV. That's all they've ever been doing. Taking sports away doesn't do anything if you're still having the TV on 24/7. Their false narrative disappeared, but they added a new false narrative called COVID-19. They just replaced the one with the other. It's just that CV is even more overtly false than sports and reality TV. What do you guys think about contact tracing?
Did you say condoms?
Did I say condoms? No.
What do you think about what?
Contact tracing.
Oh.
You going for a long walk or a little walk?
I don't know. It depends how cold it is.
Okay.
You trying to come?
That's what she said.
That's what he said.
No, I'm trying to do this thing.
Okay.
Like, can you imagine everyone out there harassing their neighbor off of something that is completely fabricated to begin with? Take something that doesn't even exist and basically, I don't even know how it could work. Like, there's such little anything actually going on, you wouldn't even, it'd be like air trying to chase itself. Wouldn't make any sense. What is going on down there? I hear grunting.
What?
I hear grunting down below. Grunting and moaning.
Thanks for taking the trash out.
Mm-hmm. Jace.
No, go.
There is literally only exploring. Nothing else is to be done but explore. And that means in each and every situation. Even if some douchebags decide they're going to come bang down your door and try to yell at you about COVID and contact tracing and whatever. Don't matter. You explore it in every situation. They can only respond to something that they know. So if you stay unpredictable in every single thought, word, action, even to your own mind, there's nobody to catch even. And then once the fugitive disappears and the hunter also disappears at the same time, then you can lay the whole thing to bed and start over and have a new adventure. Because this particular shit show, as David calls it, is really fucking boring. This shit show is old. Yeah, I'm sure all the NPCs will take it, but if it is some sort of transhumanist nonsense, cellular poration, like trying to turn your whole living situation even more into a simulation type of experience. If it is something along those lines, then it won't do anything to the NPCs because they already are that. They can't dehumanize anymore. They're already fully not human. You can tell when you look at somebody. They're either real, and there's a genuine internal essence experiencing that vessel, or they're a program. It's one of the two. Super easy to tell. There's a function in in Twitch chat. I was watching Hikaru play chess the other day, and at one point, I just saw emoticons only flooding the screen. And everyone was posting different ones, but I was just like, this is horrifying. And so I tried, writing a message saying like, what's everybody on about with this nonsense emoticons? And it said, this room is in emote only mode. Please use emoticons only. And so it of course didn't let whatever my message was go. The Twitch chat literally is like, it's spaz chat. If you try to sit there and read it or follow it, you will start twitching. Your body will start twitching. You'll eventually just like vibrate yourself out of your chair. If there's no internal dialogue, of course life is easy because there's nobody experiencing it. And you can't really, at the end of the day, you can't really get mad at NPCs. You can only get mad at living beings. And if it's an animated vessel, technologically or however, it's not something there to get mad at. I just know at some point I got so bored with the speaking manner of the news and their 3 talking points, They only ever have 3 talking points. It's one-dimensional. They only talk about like the economy or sports or what some mother did on the way to the grocery store, or some murdering spree here and there. But the lack of talking about anything spiritual or interdimensional or multi-dimensional, the complete and utter lack of that in all of news. Eventually, I was just like, I can't even listen to this shit. I can't waste my time listening to this nonsense. Who would want to listen to that? Yeah, I'm 34. I shall be 35 on July 3rd. Yeah, it's like the double talk method of speaking became a unconscious driving force for the corporations, and being as such, and it fits because they're dead. Corporations are dead, so in order for them to thrive, they have to suck life. And they suck life by sucking it out of the living beings inside of them, and they do that by having the living beings think that they're attached to the strawman device. That's literally how it's done. And those organizations only live inside of the collective's minds. It has no, in terms of spiritual reality, it has no spiritual reality outside of, in the collective's minds. So it's a dead entity that is animated through our belief in it. And it even says it. It's not trying to pretend that it's not. Corpse oration, speaking life into the dead thing. It's called a fictitious business name. Like, you literally file for a fictitious business name. It's saying you are filing to create this shit out of thin air. And you're going to manage that fake thing. They don't say that directly. They don't ever say, you, the energetic being that has no name or definition, are going to manage this shit. But that's what's implied. Like the Matrix. I'm young in this body, but I've been in this place for fucking ever. I'm probably one of the original ones that came here. In terms of keeping track of past identities, if you're interested in such thing. I'm barely interested in keeping track of this current identity, let alone trying to round up whatever the fuck I've been in the past. I just know I have very little patience for the horse and pony show that goes on here. Very little patience. And there's just too much pretense. There's way too much pretense. There is a proper way to use pretense. There's a proper way to wear capes and gowns and, hold staffs and wands and whatnot. But the thing that this place has degenerated into is it's just like an actual interdimensional sewer. It's literally all it is. The beings that have been recycling themselves here have been hiding because they know they have to, balance out at some point. The ones that took the really, really negative path, and they're scared. So, because you run out of wanting and wishing to power trip at some point, because that shit requires energy, and eventually, even if you're trying to steal and rape all the beings around you for energy, eventually you're going to run out. And then you're going to have to face your own shit, and the ones who've been putting that off for a couple of millennia are going to have a nice big old firework when they finally get to look at themselves. Really nice fireworks. What are you doing, Kit Kat? What are you doing, Floppy? So yeah. Lots of lies need to unravel themselves. This whole realm is built on lies upon lies upon lies upon lies upon fabrications upon omission, lies by omission, upon misrepresentation, upon hiding, upon power trips, upon ego trips. That's what this whole entire realm is built upon. And that's not even touching the energetic rape aspect of it. And you can feel it. You feel that as you walk through the muck. It's like walking through a noxious gas, just existing in this realm. You can feel the dirtiness of it. Even if the sun's out, our light bulb sun is out and the birds are singing, you just smell it. You taste it in the air. Taste the stench, rotten underbelly of the beast. Bye, Maya. Have a good one. Good to see you. Yeah, the money printer goes off and it's just silly. They take away the musical chairs one by one. I think part of the reason why the organics are getting tired of it is because the machinations are largely derived from AI trying to make sense of so-called geopolitical movements, and the stuff that it spits out in terms of 3D chess or 5D chess or whatever, it appears as nonsense to the rational mind, though it may achieve some sort of goal. We don't understand the AI's mind enough to try and find a logical spot even within the stuff that's being spit out. And it's usually couched in terms of war, which a lot of us are no longer interested in playing that game. Although the factions that are still interested in having incessant war, their shit bleeds out and affects everybody. And that's all with false scarcity. Like, the whole thing's fake to begin with. The physicality experience in itself is fake to begin with. Literally everybody has to wake up from that main big lie, which is that physicality is false. It's a joke. It can be a beautiful joke. It can be fun. You can have some good sex here and there, have some wine and beer, draw some pictures, whatever. But at the core of it, especially if it's been an abusive situation, like it has been here, it's been highly abusive for consciousness, then you get over it. You get over having to be enfleshed in the first place. That was quick.
Was it?
Have you listened to Levine's video lately? Hey, Jazz is here. What's up, Jazz?
Your dad?
What?
Your dad?
No. My dad?
That's what you said.
No. Someone asked about Levine, but I think they meant Levette. Yeah, this is a card for Jazz Sinclair. I hadn't told anybody yet because I wanted to surprise him. This is actually a tennis ball, pretending to be aliens.
Talking to me?
No?
Oh, I couldn't hear what you were saying.
I can be talking to you.
Good, you're right.
Come join the party. Jazz, have you made any sense of the realm yet?
Jazz.
Have you made any logics out of this place yet? I think I know what the answer is, but I want to hear you say it yourself. Yes? I know you're lying. Stop lying. Who wants to buy this picture for $300? This is gonna be famous someday. Probably is famous right now. Now you want me to buy your book. We are all here to serve Gary Dan Warmer. If that's the truth, then I feel a little bit gypped because I haven't been served very well. I need a palace and at least a moat, so I can keep the NPCs away. You only get in the palace if you have a special password. Jazz, do you even talk with humans anymore, or you just play tennis all day? Do you venture out into the real world, where the NPCs roam freely? The nines? Cosmology explains things quite well. I stopped listening to all narratives a long time ago. You're gonna make me a moat? That's nice. That's very kind of you, Jazz. They padlocked the courts. Oh yeah, because there's COVIDs floating around in there, huh? You might sniff one of them up your nose on accident. They live off of sugar water. What? Jazz, did you get a notification that I was live, or did these happen across the channel? I think nobody gets the notifications. Oh, you put my picture on the wall? Probably not. Covert ID, Cove Idiot. What other ways can we say this name? What else did COVID mean? Did anyone look up the gematria of COVID? Kobe and Hugo. Good night, Jazz. Thanks for stopping by. It's always good to see you. Get that good shut-eye. Dream up a realm that's not retarded and wake up in that one. Those birdies are going off out there. They're going off. Someone said C is S-E-E and Ovid means sheep in Latin.
Sounds right.
Means surrender in ancient numerology. So you see all the sheep surrender. Adjacent possible. Worlds that could exist because they're close enough to our reality to become real. Yeah. You just have to close your eyes and leap. Anytime you're making a decision. Alan Watts said that the amount of information one would need to make a logical, intelligent decision would be numerologically beyond our means of comprehending. So he said the next best thing to having enough information before we act is pick something that seems reasonable and just go with it randomly. Because there's never enough information to make that choice, and then when you do make the choice, there's never any way to actually determine if that was the correct one, because you're not living in all the realities, you're only living in the one that you chose. So you're just mentally masturbating to the idea of alternate realities. You're actually only ever in one. Mentally, though, we're in all kinds of them. The mind is actually the most free. Even though lots of people try to make it out that the mind is the jail guard. I mean, it could be the guard if you haven't realized what exactly it is and how it moves. This world is dying. That's what Nish said. She said we're dying, right?
Always dying and not dying.
Yep.
It's the float.
We're always dying and reforming and coming back and poofing this way and that way. Every single split second, the world dies and is rebirthed a billion times. For the most part, there's nothing to do about anything. It's a big joke. But we're still here, and we still have the idea and the feeling that we can do things, so then we go about and do things. There's no way to understand it, though. That's why all of the talk about it starts becoming ridiculous at some point. All of the worn-out cliches and spiritualisms just becomes a bunch of nonsense. I think I might want to blue the very, very outside of this one. I think that might be exciting. Or maybe I could just draw one blue line interwoven from side to side. Let's try that one. Let's see what kind of thing comes out of that one. One blue continuous line. A river runs through it. Efforts to what, though? Like, the thing started moving in a circle and chasing its own tail almost from the get-go. We have to redefine all of our words and probably remove ourselves from the legalese shit system that has come about here. Just remove from it completely. process is a runaway train, yep. 3 drugs in the ground, water comes from the sky. It wasn't meant to be complicated. Yep. We are sex organs for the AI. What? Okay, this thing needs to grow now, so I shall bring some greens back in around this blue part. Because why not?
That's exactly what I want.
Because I do whatever I do what I want, and I break my own rules all the time. All the time. Break the rules all the time. Nobody even knows what the rules are. It's a bunch of horse shit. Everyone needs to sit down, take a break from yapping, talk to a tree. Could you imagine if all these people just shut the fuck up for like 2 days? 2 days.
You're asking a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. That was a pretty apt response. Just in case y'all don't remember, I'm here. And I'm fucking loud. Oh, and I also have nothing to say whatsoever. Not in the good way. We've been over this before.
You should have heard what they were doing.
And there's a good way to say nothing. Should have heard what?
What they were doing a few minutes ago.
Do I want to hear?
Mm-mm. I'll tell you later.
Were they making fart noise with their mouths?
No.
Raspberries?
No.
Worse?
They wanted to make a Memorial Day photo because they just ate so much food that they were like, I've never eaten so much food, I'm dying, I'm so full. And so both of the boys lifted up their shirts and poked out their food baby bellies.
Yeah?
Staring at each other face to face. And
Did
the girl took a picture.
Did they use their tongues?
And they were just, you know, it was the best thing ever.
Did they say I love you, bro, afterward?
Probably.
Silly.
What's the best?
Yeah, we have the best.
America.
We have the bestest, most alivest neighbors. Quietest, most considerate. Once I figured out what this place was, then my main language became sarcasm. There was no turning back after that. And ironically enough, it means that my main language is lies. It's kind of a sad thing. But unless you're a human being that has empathy, you can't distinguish between the lies. Sarcasm literally means lies for effect. For special effect. Because you know what I'm really saying. If you were human, if you're a robot, then you're like, why is he saying that? What could he possibly be meaning? Beep, beep, beep. I don't know. The possibility of subtleties in speech went out the window.
Do you have any tattoo artists in your peeps?
Are any of you guys tattoo artists? Ray Kurzweil and his 5 billion degree IQ would disagree. Kurzweil. I don't know if humans would be willing to build the machines that make them redundant. They talked about this a lot. There have already been many stories written about what the humans are going to do when there's no more practical use for them anymore. It's always the same thing of what do humans do when there's no more, like, I'm about to get eaten by a mountain lion, so what do I do about it? When it goes beyond simple survival, then what do you do with yourself? And if the humans can't figure out what to do about that situation, then they're going to do dumb shit, like kill each other or kill themselves or make really ugly noises. You have to be able to be okay with yourself in silence. That is, if you have a self, if you have an internal state. If you don't, then you don't need to worry about it. Sarcasm is the lowest form of wit.
Dang.
No, he couched it with, they say. It's not straight sarcasm. It's like I don't know what you could call it. There's not a word for the type of language that I use. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Irony.
Irony? Maybe it's irony. It's like when the situation itself has become so ridiculous, if you're not literally saying, oh God, the world is ending and, you know, creatures are eating us every second of the day, which is somewhat close to the reality. If you're not simply saying that every day, then you're saying something else, which is a lie. So you have to... I don't know how to say it. It's difficult to use words for anything. They're kind of useless. Stupid things. That's why we draw. When words fail, draw a picture.
Play music.
Play music. Have sex. I mean, the Catholic Church alone stopped so many people from having sex. Like, just that alone probably created all type of rage and unfulfillment in males and all this stuff.
And females.
And females. Just that one simple thing that says, the thing that you are naturally equipped to do is a sin. Unless. Blah, blah, blah. Sometimes I'm confused where you're coming from. That's because I'm coming from everywhere and nowhere. So it has to be confusing. It's like my brain sees all possibilities for every single moment, and then it randomly picks one while holding the knowledge of all possibilities. So there's an essence of blandness in a sense, but it's impossible. It's the most basic way I can put it is it's the resultant mind of denying entrainment. It found the correct way to deny entrainment and then simply moseyed along. Yeah, it's busy work. Completely 100% agree. It's shuffling papers around while ignoring the actual problems in homeless people and all the things that actually exist. And they tried to numb the population with the pharma for the longest time so they wouldn't have to look at what was actually going on, and it worked, but it became unsustainable, and it is unsustainable, and they even see that with their own stupid supercomputers that model the geopolitical outcomes of situations. They know it themselves. That's why they're pulling this stupid stunt. The thing was so unsustainable.
Look
COVID condoms? Works just as good as what? The real ones?
as the masks.
Yeah, because
they're crocheted.
Yeah, they're crocheted. I mean, if you put an object in front of the other object, it stops everything, right? Like, if I went out in the rain...
Tiny.
Yeah. If I went out in the rain with a screen, this one here, then I would get wet, right?
Never, not
No, because I held up the thing over my head. It doesn't matter what type of thing it is, just it's anything. I wouldn't get wet.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what I'm talking about. Is that sarcasm? Is that irony? Can you apply a word to that?
Well...
You have to know what I'm saying, though.
Yeah, it's both. For a while, people were saying that, like, sarcasm wasn't the right word for sarcasm. It's actually irony.
Mm-hmm.
Versus irony.
It's like the easiest way I can explain it is you're entertaining multiple meanings of the words.
Okay, you're doing irony. Irony is used to convey the opposite idea of the actual thing said, but without the intention of hurting any person, while sarcasm is the use of irony intended to convey contempt or mock the other person. So sometimes you do sarcasm and sometimes you're ironic.
Yeah, if I'm real pissy at an NPC, I probably use sarcasm. That makes sense. Denied what? What was denied? What is love? Baby, don't hurt me. neoliberal agenda is about managing the decline. The successful people in our times are just that, managers. They may call themselves academics, businessmen, etc., but they still serve the orthodox. Managing the decline. Decline of what? I think one of the problems is that humans made their own lives too loud. We made all the things into a big old to-do via holidays and whatnot. And when the reality of it, there is something going on, but it's very subtle and easy to miss when you're talking really loudly. And there's a big letdown internally if you've been living on the high of every single thing and having a big to-do made about it. The reality, the truth, so to speak, there isn't any to-do whatsoever. There's no awards, there's no rewards, there's not even any punishments. It's just silence. And most people have a big old fit when they find that out. They go make a bunch of noise in the void. It's really funny. The thing that wants to be right, or the logic thing and the meaning thing, doesn't actually exist. And the thing that actually does exist can't talk. So the life itself is a constant attempt to bridge that gap, which can never happen, but it can kind of partially happen. Can't actually happen, but it doesn't really matter. You have to be okay with silence, because that's what all of your doings, your emotions, and your movements sit inside of. Every last bit of it sits inside of silence. And if you start remembering that as you're running around and moving your mouth, talking to people, fucking, driving your car, falling down and getting hurt, being angry at the NPCs, whatever, all that shit. If you can be aware that it happens in silence and, in a sense, it's all irrelevant, then it won't bother you as much. And then also, at some point, you'll be able to start exploring more rather than worrying, because worrying is a big silly thing. Like, if you were to zoom out of your avatar even a shred, like Andrea, when you said you came out with DMT, right? Mm-hmm. You said you came out, you popped out, you knew everything, right?
Yep.
Not a single question left. Probably nothing left to do, right?
I don't know. I didn't get to stay long enough to explore.
Yeah. But you're so limited. Like, you're limited here that you can't even comprehend what it's like to have things not matter.
Yeah.
It's impossible to comprehend it. Because here everything matters.
Seems to matter.
it yellingly tries to matter every single day. No, pay attention, I really do matter. When in truth, in the eternal stillness of the void, it doesn't matter at all. It can, like, you can give it attention and give it a little bit of love or a little bit of hate or whatever the fuck you want.
Don't matter nary one bit.
Not a flying little... Not a bit. Not a bit. And again, once you realize that everything has the same weight in terms of value propositions, everything's exactly the same unless you color it with your own personality imbalance. Your own personality distortion applies a lens on top of the mass of everything, and it pulls something out, and then it creates a picture of it. And that's what you see with your eyeballs when you look outside. And it's nice. It's good to experience things. But if you're constantly worrying about the things that you aren't experiencing because you don't have them or think you can't get them or whatever, you're conducting a futile exercise inside of infinity, which is going to have everything be experienced no matter what, whether you want it or not. You have nothing to do with it. So I got them all colored up.
Nice.
Imagine a machine that performs a function very well, however no one seemed to care or even notice that its function is completely useless in terms of an end. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly it. The machine is working flawlessly, and nobody knows where it's trying to go. I don't even think it knows where it's trying to go. I mean, the mind control machine has fully perfected itself. And almost everyone is experiencing vast amounts of cognitive dissonance. My orange is running out of steam. Oh well.
You can make more with red and yellow.
Oh, I forgot about yellow. I have yellow.
How did you do that?
No.
Poor yellow.
It wasn't his time to shine yet. He's the closer. He's the finisher. What do they call that last? He's the final leg. You know, for hurdles, even like relay events.
Oh yeah.
What do you call that guy? Closer?
Anchor.
Anchor, yeah. I thought of it exactly the same time as you did. We both pulled it out. We plucked it out of the noosphere at the same time. you got yellow. Oh, he looks exactly the same as orange. Not super impressed, yellow. Not super impressed. I'm gonna have to overlay him. I love my truck. Waking up feels as if you're being rejected by the Matrix, like you serve no purpose for them, so they discard you. Yep, pretty much. It's true, though, as well, because you don't serve any purpose for the Matrix when you wake up. The Matrix lives off of drama and made up ideas of where anything should be going, or made up ideas of definitions and laws. That's what the thing lives off of. And if you say, I'm over all of it, then it says, well, got no room for you here, buddy. Person could invent a machine with the purpose of singing Mamma Mia by ABBA backwards, then self-destructing. He could achieve it, and then everyone would be impressed and applaud. He should have come up with a better idea, not have perfected its function. Yeah, there is something in conceptually speaking, completing a function that is comforting to the mind, yet at the same time it cuts you off from lots of possibilities of what it could turn into if you hadn't saddled it with that. It's back to the structure versus free flow idea, and how much of each is a sort of healthy balance. syndrome, attachment disorders, boundary issues. Yeah. Yep, the whole group of people has Stockholm syndrome, and they're attached to the thing that they can't even see. It's not even visible. That's why Trump calls it the invisible enemy, or the enemy within. Everywhere I go, people always know Charlie Sheen has got a weenie that he likes to show. Very, very interesting. running low. This is not good. It's dry. Thanks, Maya. You back? That's loud. Welcome back. This is on a resume.
Oh, shit.
I didn't even know.
Nice.
It's on one of my resumes.
Don't resume. Start something new.
Mm-hmm. I haven't colored since I'm a child. I'm 22 now, still too stuck in my frontal lobes.
We're going back.
Yep. Just make the space available and have the materials just out somewhere, and then kind of allow yourself to gravitate whenever it happens naturally. Don't be like, I got a color today, because that will never work.
You hate it.
You will hate it. Just have it available, and then someday you'll just pick it up and do a little something. And then eventually you might remember, like, oh, wow. It's nice not having to think about stuff 24/7. thing went through several different mind iterations. It's multi-layered. And it means nothing at all. Well, there's actually a little alien guy in there. Right here. But whatever it started out as has little to do with what it ended up as. Visually speaking. Frontal lobe speaking. Stay home and save life. Friendly message brought to you by the American Cancer Society. What was it? The Ministry of Peace, which is involved in matters of war. Ministry of Information, which is the arm of propaganda. And the Minister of Love, which has to do with the torture section. I think that's how it went, something like that. You don't remember?
It's all opposites, though.
It's all opposites. Done to create splits and alters and to make the multidimensional being manageable. Shoulders are sore.
Mine too.
Because I hold them all tense while I'm drawing.
Gotta relax.
You can't, and my pen hand will fall down. Ain't no such thing as relax anyway. Yep, that's exactly like that. We don't fit here. And so eventually, I think Og said it, eventually you become like too big for the reality or the particular projection that you've been placed inside of it and just expand outside of it. That's the idea anyway. The idea is not to continue to incept, because that requires more fragmentation. and more loss of power. And we've already incepted so far to get to this point that we can't go much further without going into full entropy. We may already be going into full entropy. Pushing toward the dissolution of the realm and regeneration. I think it's mainly done through, well, I think it's fully done through attachments. And that's in terms of like the Hinduism, the Buddhist theory of the wheel, and that it's always going to play on your desires to stay with some form of manifestation. Usually that's in terms of family. Perhaps it could be in terms of, you know, a particular art form that you enjoy, but it will be given, the knowledge will be given that you can't have that anymore in the particular way that this realm offers it if you leave. And generally speaking, I think people keep attachments. So we find it easy to fall back in here. ukulele.
That's a banjo. What is the matter with you?
What was that?
Something my dad posted a while ago. That's the tobacco fields.
Is that him or is that just a video?
That's him.
Yeah?
That's him talking.
Nice.
Autumn leaves get ripe first. You can see where they've come through here. Cropped some of it already. They'll go through this field about another 2 times maybe. At the end of the row is the water cooler. You've got to work to get there.
That was when he was still like farming tobacco or working
No,
there?
this is 3 years ago.
Okay.
I never saw him put that up.
If you wish us to go ahead, say nothing. Yeah, there is a certain amount of action that can be rationalized through silence, through not responding. But if you're dealing with beings who have been mind wiped and sometimes near totality, then they aren't having any picture to work with in the first place. So what that would mean logically is that the decision isn't being made by them at that level or us at this level. It means that it's being made by the part of themselves that is not wiped. And that means that the part of us that's here isn't going to have a clue about what's going on. What level of self would you like to make the decision from?
Oh, nice. He did do a little bit of what I told him he should do.
What?
Tell about things.
Tell about things.
Or I was telling you that he always would say, like, he'd stop on the side of the road and say, oh, you can eat this, you can eat that.
Oh, nice.
Or in the woods or wherever. And
Mhm.
I was always telling him, like, you should do videos and put them up.
Mm-hmm.
Telling people, you know, how to
These
find
are
it.
Facebook videos?
Yeah, I've never seen them.
What?
Well, I guess I have because I liked it, but I forgot about them.
That's crazy. Hook salad?
And you can
Yeah.
boil it with lard or bacon grease or whatever seasoning you want, a little salt and pepper and some kind of crushed red pepper, and it's good to eat.
Alright, I'm done. Is done. Oh,
Wow. Nice job.
how long is that? 2 hours? I think there's a time on there somewhere. Can't tell. My fingers are sore.
My fingers are sore from playing guitar.
Exponential technological communications. The hive mind's-like field we all have the capacity to draw from. It is a tool to be used in moderation. We don't do nearly enough processing of the information. It's only gotten worse recently. Don't merge yourself with it and make a beast of yourself, so to speak. I think a lot of people that were merging with it didn't necessarily know that they were going to merge with it. Hey Ashley, you're catching the tail end. That's it. Final piece.
It's good. I see a lot in there.
Yeah. I haven't seen you live in what seems like forever. I was live just yesterday, right?
Are you?
Yep.
The shows.
Yep. I usually do live every week, every Sunday. I missed 2 Sundays in a row.
Sorry.
That's all good. Hope you all are faring well during all this. Yeah. Well enough. No, you can play this one.
I just was trying to repost it.
How have you been, Ashley? Oh, 2:55. Gemini. I've been at this thing for 3 hours. That's crazy. Yeah. I usually do the collective weekly live at 10 a.m. West Coast time on Sundays if you want to try to plan to be there at some point. But anyway, thanks everybody for hanging out. I'm going to move my body around because I'm cramped from sitting here for so long. Cabin fever, yeah. .360 video. What does that mean? Oh. Huh. That's interesting. Okay. Well, that's enough. Thanks for hanging out, people. I'll see you around. Peace. Yeah, I see you on Twitter. You want to say bye to the cat? Or the cat? Say bye-bye, kitty cat. Bye-bye. Bye. This is Kitty Cat the Flop. Yeah?